What's good, family? Welcome to the Jamie Jordan Podcast. If you know me, you know I love talking to you guys, so now we have an official platform to have these conversations. I want to give a special shout out to Ski Beats, legendary hip-hop producer, for providing the vibes that are flowing through your ears right now. Most of you know Ski from Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album. He is the mastermind behind the sound. Thank you, Ski, for being a part of this podcast, and thank you for tuning in. Before we get into these conversations about health, healing, and prosperity, let's just let the beat breathe. What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of the Jamie Jordan Podcast. Today I want to talk to you about, no big surprise here, I want to talk about goals. You know, that's what we talk about. We talk about making those dreams come true by accomplishing those small goals in the process. So I want you to understand, raise your awareness about what a goal really is. I want you to think about it in the terms of hunting, right? So if you're hunting, if you're hungry, you want the goal. You're like, I'm serious about this. I'm ready for transformation. I'm ready to make these dreams come true. Let's go. What do I have to do? If you don't have a clear-cut understanding, a very, very hyper-specific, clear-cut idea, a visual representation of what that goal looks like, you won't understand what you're chasing. And I know that seems kind of like intuitive, like, of course, but let me break it down even further. If you don't take that vision, if you don't take that big picture vision, like let's say, I want to become a millionaire. I want to become a billionaire. I want to be a business owner. I want to be respected worldwide. I want my company to dominate. Or even simpler, I want to be a writer. I want to be a speaker. If you don't break that vision down to the smallest component, then you won't know exactly what to chase, what checkpoints you have to reach, what action items you have to take to actually get there. So it's almost like having a vision, but you don't exactly know what you're chasing. And that's why people get to the point of saying, I don't know what steps to take. I don't know what the next step should be. I just don't see a path forward. And this is a very, very dangerous mindset because it leads to procrastination. And it's not even a mindset. It's almost like a situation. It's a condition. It's a condition of the dreamer. One of those conditions that the things that just can happen to you, you can lose clarity. Or you cannot even ever have gained clarity. You can know what you want, but you don't know what steps to take. I don't know 100% what steps to take. Therefore, I'm just kind of hoping that things will align. And being that I have good intentions, I have a good heart, I'm serious about it, and I'm talented, hoping that things will just line up and my dreams will come true. More often than not, it won't happen that way. So if you can take that vision and break it down to the smallest action item, you can now say, okay, I'm on track. And breaking it down, if the vision is to become, I'll just use myself as an example, I want to become a world-class, highly respected, well-known speaker, one of the most sought-after speakers and coaches in the world. And if I want to make that happen, there's so many different avenues, so many different lanes, so many streets, so many turns that I could take. I can drive through any state to get there. I can take a plane. I can take a rocket, right? There's so many different ways that I can get there that if I don't map out a path, I will end up anywhere in the world. It's almost like saying, meet me at the mall, but I don't tell you what city, what state, what country, what continent, what planet. And I'm just saying, meet me at the mall, and I'm not even giving you a map. It's the same thing with the dream, with the vision. You have an idea, you know what it is, but you don't have a map to get there. So not only are you responsible for finding this highly secret location of where the dream is, but you're also responsible for creating your own map on how to get there. You're responsible for creating the GPS system that's going to get you there. And that's not an easy task. When I listen to entrepreneurs talk, I hear them say this is probably the most difficult thing that you can do with your life is become an entrepreneur. So it's understanding that this is not going to be easy. This won't be a quick or simple process. But those of us who are down for the cause, we're down for the ride. We're like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that level of difficulty. I'm ready for the journey. But then what? Now what? So this is where life coaches come in. This is where Bricklayers comes in, because we help you to map out that vision down to the smallest step. So bringing it back to the hunting reference, if you're hungry, you need to know what your prey is. And the goal, remember, you're chasing the goal. So the goal is the prey. But if you don't understand what the prey is, if you don't understand what the goal is, then you will never eat. So breaking it down, I like to bring the DISC assessment into these conversations because it's almost like the DISC will teach you what is your hunting style. right? DISC gives you a snapshot of your behavioral patterns and tendencies, so it gives you an idea of how you behave, what's your natural behavior. And relating it to goals, it'll tell you what is your hunting style, what is your goal chasing style, how do you pursue your prey, which is the goal, how do you pursue those goals, how do you go after your goals, how do you eat. And the fact of the matter is, relating it to bricklayers, remember, bricks are actions and decisions that get you closer to the goals. So we're all laying bricks, but we have to understand that we're all laying bricks in our own way. Everybody isn't laying their bricks in the same way. Depending on where we fall, how heavily we fall in each of the quadrants, D, I, S, and C, we're going to lay our bricks in different ways. So have that understanding as you go into this journey, as you go into this goal-chasing journey. Understand. You have to understand and learn yourself. How do I lay bricks? How do I pursue my goals? How do I chase my prey? What is my hunting style? So one of the pillars in the Bricklayers community is called no distractions, right? And this states that I will not be distracted by the past, by the future, or by other people's bricks. And so for understanding the hunting style of the high I, one of the tendencies of a high I, it can be to get distracted because, for one, you have a ton of ideas. And you're like, oh, that's my prey, that's my prey, that's my target, that's my target. And you have amazing ideas. And to my high I's, my fellow high I's, I'm relatively high up there with you guys. And you have the ability to carry out that vision. Like, you're talented. You are able to catch that prey. But you're seeing prey all over the place. This is when you get a new idea. You're like, ooh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to write a book. And I'm guilty of this. I'm speaking from experience. I have 457,000 open projects right now. And I'm working on narrowing it down, okay? But to my high I's, we can have a tendency to be distracted by all of the new ideas. So use that pillar to center yourself. And you have to forcefully do it because, understand, this is your natural style. So this is what you will naturally do at the blink of an eye without thinking about it. Your brain is on a million. And you're like, this is a great idea. I should chase this prey. But you're chasing this, and then you see something else, and you're like, I'm chasing that now. So be intentional about staying focused on one thing, at least until you lay a brick. At least until you take a step. At least until you take action. Remember, this journey, there's no recipe for this. There's no 100% guaranteed curriculum for making your dreams come true. So you have to feel your way out throughout this journey. You have to do a lot of guesswork and rely heavily on your intuition. So bringing it back to the pillar of no distractions and how it relates to the high I. One of the distractions that we are susceptible to is being distracted by the past. The other, distracted by the future. And one that's even more difficult to stay focused on is not being distracted by other people's bricks, other people's journey, what other people are doing. So I'll break each one down really quickly. If you're distracted by the past, this means you're spending a lot of time feeling like, man, I shouldn't have done that. Or what if I would have done this differently? What if I would have done this? What if I would have taken this step? All of those what ifs and that guilt from the past, those are distractions, right? Because it takes focus away from you laying your current brick. Now, it's encouraged, it's necessary, it's healthy, and it's absolutely needed to address and digest your past. You have to embrace your past because that's what made you who you are. You may have to address some things and heal from some things from the past. So I'm not saying ignore your past, but when it falls to the territory of distracting you, like, man, I should have done this better, you're beating yourself up, it's a distraction. And as a bricklayer, you're centered by that pillar of, I won't be distracted by the past. I'm just going to move forward from here. So the other one is being distracted by the future. And what that looks like is, while it's important to visualize the future and plan for the future and even move in preparation for the future, when you get into those what ifs of the future, like, what if this doesn't happen for me? Or when is this going to happen? Or what if it fails? That's a distraction. And you have to identify it like super quick. Okay, red flag. I'm thinking about the what ifs of the future. That's a distraction. And again, bricklayers philosophy, center yourself. Don't get distracted by that what if mentality. And then the last part of the no distractions pillar, I won't be distracted by someone else's bricks. I mean, we live in a society where every single time you open up your phone, you see all these polished brands and people making moves and perfectly, chiseled out websites and businesses booming. So it can be easy to be distracted by, man, I should be doing what they're doing, right? So there's a distinction. It's important. I encourage it. I do it all the time. I look at other brands. I look at other people. I look at people who inspire me. I study them. I learn from them to get inspiration and to get knowledge and try to help me with my own blueprint. But when it turns to beating myself up because I'm not on their level, for example, or feeling like, man, I'm not qualified, to even show up because I'm not that great, that's a distraction. And you have to recognize that as a red flag, so when you feel yourself floating in that sea of comparison or regret, you have to center yourself and say, you know what, I won't get distracted, because all that does is take focus away from the brick that's in your hand. And if you think about an actual bricklayer, they're not going to be distracted or worried about the bricks that they laid yesterday. That's the past. It's already laid. It set the foundation for today. So why would I spend the first 4 hours of my shift looking at the bricks that I laid yesterday? And similarly, I won't be distracted or worried about the bricks that I have to lay up there, because I understand I can't lay the bricks at the top if I haven't laid the bricks at the bottom. So it's that understanding, it's that mindset. It's a strategy to center yourself when you feel that feeling. That's a very natural feeling, and I think we all experience it. But if you have that mindset strategy, you can stay pretty focused on your journey. And I do it all the time. I do it all the time when I feel myself getting off into that place. So if we can relate it back to the high I, that flight attendant, you may have a tendency to have strong emotional ties to the past. So it can be hard to not feel distracted by that. You can feel emotionally connected to things that you may need to let go or shut off during this phase of your journey. Or you may have strong emotional ties to others, and that can take you off track, off focus of your own journey, of the specific steps that you are supposed to take. Because the high I, we're people, we're people. Does that make sense? I'm a people person. I love people. I want to help people. I don't want anybody to dislike me. We get into that place, but that can cause you to make decisions based on the temporary feeling, the temporary emotional connection of having someone approve of your moves. But who's to say that those moves are the best thing for your journey? So you have to find an off switch. I had an episode a while back talking about people. I know we love people, we're encouraged by people, we inspire people, we are people. So having that emotional connection to our peers is important. When it gets to a place to where you can't distinguish between what's the best step for you and what's the best step to please the people around you, you have to address it. You have to address yourself, pull yourself off of the page and really look at it. It's like a book. Like life is like a storybook. I need you to envision yourself in your future, looking back on this page in your journey, and ask yourself, am I making the correct move for me or for the people around me? And chances are the future you would look back and say, you know what, you should have moved like that. You should have made that move. You should have made that decision. But when you're in it, especially as a high I, you have to be aware of this. And when you're in it, in the process, in the moment, you're going to be affected by people's opinions and feelings, especially the people that are close to you and the people that you care about. So develop that red flag mentality. Understand what is a red flag. Understand what is going to cause you to run the risk of not making your dreams come true, because you can't always really see it in real time. It feels like whatever, I'll just make a better decision next time. But it's not about making a better decision next time. It's about staying focused and making as many wise decisions as possible to help you get to the destination. Again, remember, we're mapping out a journey here. We're creating our own map to success. So the more and more correct steps you take, that'll be the less you'll be off of your target at the end result. So again, let's wrap it up. Let's bring it all the way back. As a bricklayer, or just in other words, as a person pursuing your dreams and goals, you have to understand what type of hunter are you? What type of bricklayer are you? What is your process? How do you chase your prey? Again, the goal being the prey. First things first, what is my prey? And that's going to be a continually evolving process. It's going to change. The prey isn't to become a speaker. That's the vision. That's the whole end destination. The prey is the action item. It's the immediate next step for me to make that dream come true. So I'll give you a real-time example. In my personal journey, the prey for me is to create a speaking curriculum. That's my current action item on my current list of things to do in my Bricklayers journal. I have to create a speaking curriculum. I have to come up with 10 key points that I always speak about, so that when people hear Jamie Jordan, they already know what Jamie's going to talk about. Jamie represents this. This is her philosophy. This is her speaking set. I have to create 10 key points. And this is an action item that I created for myself because I strategically mapped out the vision down to the smallest step. So create a speaking curriculum. That's not become a speaker. That's an action item. So once I create a speaking curriculum, the next thing to do is to record my speeches. After I do that, I create a body of work and expose the world to my speaking style and my message. After I expose the world to my message and my speaking style, then people will book me. Once people book me, I become in demand. Remember my big picture vision, one of the most sought out speakers in the world. So in order to do that, I have to break it down to the smallest component. And in this step in my journey, my prey, what I'm hunting, that target, that goal is to create a speaking curriculum. And that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. So understand the difference between what you want out of life. Understand the difference between your vision and your actual prey. You got to know what you're hunting. If you don't know what you're hunting, then you're just kind of out there, you're hungry, but I can't guarantee that you're going to eat. And even if you eat, it might be something poisonous, or it might be something that doesn't fit your diet, right? However you want to flip it. So I want to leave you with that, guys. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Jamie Jordan Podcast. We're now able to come to you guys with the live recording on YouTube and other platforms as well. Please tune into this conversation. If you have any topics for discussion, shoot me an email, jamiejordanpodcast@gmail.com. Look me up on Instagram at jamie.jordan, at Jamie Jordan Podcast. Find me at Bricklayers. Y'all, I'm so excited about Bricklayers. I cannot wait to just continue to grow within the community and to bring you guys in. Remember, we're all in this journey together. Like, I'm right here with y'all. We're just doing this thing together because I believe in the power of network. The more of us that are on the same wavelength, sharing those strategies, sharing those experiences, I believe the better and the quicker we can get to the destination. So thank y'all so much. I love you. Y'all have an amazing day. Remember, keep your head up and conquer every single step in your journey.